Hey YouTube, Townhouse Gardener here. It is October 1st and it has been maybe a little over 2 weeks or so since my last update, and just thought I've changed a bunch of stuff in the garden. Some stuff you've seen, some stuff you haven't, and just wanted to do a quick overview just to show what I have going on for the fall garden. First off, it is about 55 degrees. It's supposed to have a high of 80, but it's getting really cool at night. Humidity is high, is from what that's showing at least. And just to show you real quick, in this first bed I have some lettuce. This is a red romaine, which we've been harvesting. I've given away a head. I've been picking off leaves if I'm just using it for a sandwich, or harvesting whole heads in case I want to use it for a salad. Like last night, my wife and I made a grilled chicken Caesar salad, which was actually really good. Since the temperature has been lower, the lettuce is getting a little bit sweeter. So I have that there. Right here is some regular romaine, which is still growing, and some seedlings over here. This is Butter Crunch, which is doing really well, and red sails, which these have gotten really big as well. This is 3 different ones. Alright, over here is, I have my chocolate mint, which is still remaining in a pot. I'm not going to put it in a bed because I don't want it to completely take over the bed, so it's staying in a pot. Brussels sprouts right here. And sorry for the lighting. It's 6:30 in the morning. The sun just came up, or at least starting to come up, and probably by the end of my video it'll be poking up and be a lot brighter. So just bear with me. In this bed over here, this is where I had some corn, I had cucumbers across the back. Now this is just a bunch of snow peas going across the back. I actually have to push them back against the netting. They're starting to fall forward. Pretty much on these, all I did was initially, when they got to like 3 inches tall, I put them on the net, and then they've just been going up the rest themselves. In the bed, I have some kohlrabi. One right there, one right there. I had this in container, but decided to get rid of the container because I like keeping my walk space open. And let me see, I have broccoli plants around, as well as iceberg headed lettuce, like the ball lettuce. I have a few of those around as well. And I have a row of parsnips just going across the front all the way down. Some of them have come up, some of them haven't. And I have a couple random sunflowers, which just decided to come up on their own, so I gotta pull them out too. Over in this pot, I have more snow peas. In this pot, I have collards. My herbs back here, which I pruned everything. Like this is the basil, which I pruned the bottom, but I left the roots in, the root ball. So it's coming back in hopes that I can get enough to make my chicken pesto pasta. I do make a fresh pesto out of the basil. I bake some chicken. I do some chicken strips, and then I put the pesto all over it. I bake it covered with foil on top. Then I bake it for, I don't know, 25 minutes or so. Uncover it, and I mix it together with some bow tie pasta. I spread mozzarella over the top, and I return it back into the oven and broil it for, I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes. And it has a nice crunch to the top of it, and it's really good. You should try it out. I put my thyme in here too. I'm really trying to get away from these pots as much as I can, just because I really want to keep nice walkways. As you can see, most of my walkways are completely open now. So there's that bed. My blackberry plant back here is doing just fine. I've been weeding around them, trying to give them more room. I have sugar snap peas against the back here, rutabagas right in front of it, and these are all turnips. So I'm gonna hopefully get some of these turnip greens. I'm trying to let it wait until it gets even cooler, just so they're even sweeter. Raspberry plant here, which is doing fine. I'm not sure how the whole bottom part of this is pretty much bad leaves, and then the top has new growth on it. If I should just prune it all the way back to the ground, or what I should do. If you know, let me know, just to give me some advice. In this bed, I have mustard greens against the back. I have bok choy, which I had 4 of them. One came back right there, and I have another one underneath my Swiss chard. It's just not doing that great. So they were pretty much dead when I put them in, and only one of them really survived. They were seedlings that I bought. I have spinach all up here, which is doing good. My marigolds are still doing great. Over in this bed, this was all seeds. I planted, let me see, in the front here, you can see the little starts. I have 2 rows of shallots. The next row between this row and back there, let me see if I can see one coming up. Oh, right there. I have, oh, what's it doing? There we go, maybe. Alright. Well, anyway, I have a couple. I think I have one right there too. That's elephant garlic, which I have, I believe, 4 of them going across. And then I have some regular garlic going across there, which that was 100% germination. I saw, it was Rob Bob said about how putting your garlic in the fridge overnight before you plant them helps them to have a much better germination rate. And I put them in the fridge, forgot about them, decided not to plant them yet. So mine were actually in the fridge for, I don't know, maybe a month. So they actually popped up out of the ground within 3 days. Almost all of them, and within a day or 2, the rest of them came out. So there's that. Back behind that, if you can see, I have tons more sprouts. I have 3 more rows of leeks. So this is I haven't done any of this before. So we'll see there. My strawberries, I cleaned out my path. They were all in the path. I actually pulled 43 or 44 strawberry plants out of my path, and I'm hopefully going to be putting them on the side of the house. I just need a lot more compost before I can, and that's the problem, is just getting it. So there's that. My strawberries are kind of dormant, not really doing much. They're really green, but I don't really get any strawberries. I'm hoping that I'll be able to clean this bed out. And then, oh, one other thing too is that I just completely overplanted this bed. I put like 45 plants in it, and I should have never done that. So I'm gonna really majorly thin it out, and then take the other ones and put them on the side and try and do just something like that. It's just, there's just way too much in there. I think that was a big problem for me. I got Brussels sprouts. I just had a seedling, so I put it in there. In this bed, I actually still have okra back here. I haven't gotten anything from it. It was just pretty much, I had planted it. It was too late in the season, and decided to leave it there just because it's not really doing a whole lot, but it actually kind of cool looking. And then I have some leeks planted underneath it that I bought some seedlings. Over here is, let me see, I got rutabagas, and then carrots in the front, which are all doing good. In this pot, Brussels sprouts. But again, I don't know why I planted Brussels sprouts in there. I really want to move this pot. Any of these ones, the ones over on the side, I'm fine with those. But any of these ones in here, I really just want to clean out. So I have dill, which is doing really good. My blueberry plant, just dormant. It's not doing a whole lot. I need to prune it at some point. Not sure how much I'm supposed to prune it, whatnot, so if you have any advice on that, that'd be great too. My iceberg watermelons, these are ones that I thought were dead. They ended up just coming back to life, and I have watermelons on them. I have 1, 2. So the last one that I cut off of, I had a bucket that used to be over there with them. They really didn't do good for me at all. I cut it open, it was pretty much hollow and just had a bunch of really large seeds in the center. It did have a hole in it though, so I don't know if some ate out the center of it. I hope that's not how they all look, but anyway, there's that. My beets are doing just fine. I have some beets down there. Let me see what else. And sorry if I'm a little nasally, I have a cold. So, over here is I have in this section, pretty much from that piece of wood over, I have cabbages, which these are early Jersey Wakefield, and then I have a couple purple, and then carrots planted between. And then in the back, this is snow peas going across the back, which I have to add to my net. I added this net in, pretty much I just put 3 of them across, and I attached it to my clothesline, and all I did was on the edges, I just had some of my mason twine that I just wrapped around going down, and then I put a nail in the back of my box and just attached it to it, the string. And I did the same thing going up on the top. I just rounded it so it was nice and tight all the way down, and then between the nets to hold it together, and just tried to make it kind of look more uniform. I like everything looking neater, so hopefully it'll work good for me. These ones are just starting to go up it. So, but I have my cabbages, which some of them are looking pretty good. Like that one's pretty big, but then I have other ones that were planted at the same time and super small. Over in this bed, this section, I should say, I have some kales, like there's some kale there. I have beets planted between, so some beets coming up, more kale, mustard greens, beets, more collards. That's collard too. I do have a Brussels sprout planted right there. I put 3 little short rows of shallots, and then I do have some spinach and are planted too. And as you can probably notice, I side dressed all these. This box in general, the box over here seems to be doing really well for me. That box, I pretty much took the soil out of my pots that I had and dumped it in it to fill it. That's how I did that one. This one, I got a compost manure mixture from a nursery and put it in, and then on top of it I put in peat moss and I put in vermiculite. That was just on the top. I didn't do the same type of mixture where I did it on these other beds, so it doesn't have nearly as much of it in it. I don't even have any bone meal in this. I don't have any azomite. But the big thing that I found was I don't think that it had enough nutrients as far as the manure goes, because over in these ones I mixed a good amount of the cow manure, mushroom compost, just organic matter in that one, which did really good. So this one I side dressed it with cow manure. I put quite a bit in it, and I did it to most of my beds just to add over to these. So I just added to it in hopes that it's really going to help. But this bed especially, I think is really going to help it out a lot. So my plan is to let this stuff grow when it's done. As you can see, I have maybe 2.5 inches between the top of the soil and the top of the wood around. So my plan is to go, I found a place probably only about 30 minutes away from me, that is selling their horse manure mixture for $5 a bucket, which is pretty much they're just trying to cover their diesel cost for the loader. So I'm gonna go and hopefully get a couple buckets, and then I'm gonna just let all my beds, I'm gonna just add manure to all of them, and really like a thick portion of it, and then just let it set over the winter. So that way in the spring the bed should be really good for me. So just trying to really prepare that. Also, as you can see, I added my mulch between. I didn't have enough to go back on the old portions as much, which I'd really like to. Oh, you can see my compost tea brewing too. But it's just mainly to cover these areas to help keep the weeds down. And I added just a little border. Oops. I added a little border right there, which just to keep it divided. Our plan is to put a patio on this whole rest of the area all the way over to here, so it should be really nice for us. So it just makes it look a little prettier, more uniformed, and just more enjoyable. So anyway, here's my update. I hope you like it. I hope you can comment, you can rate it, you can subscribe, like it, however you like, and just give me some advice. I'm always willing to learn. And thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful Tuesday morning, October 1st. All right, bye.